Jack and I went to go get coffee, and like I was like talking to one of the baristas because like it was a slow day, and I was just like, haha, blah blah blah, like small talk.
Oh yeah. You told me about this.
And fucking Jack is still wearing the cool dude shirt that he had on for the fucking the Bone Trials video.
For those of you that didn't see the video, it was literally a white T-shirt with "cool dude."
Yeah, he just wrote "cool dude" on it
in Sharpie.
Anyway, like I was like talking to the barista, just like haha, blah blah, whatever, small talk, and Jack just leans over, like this fucking like 6'5" dude, just like leans up and he's just like, hey, he's famous on the internet. And I was like,
Rich, go with the intro.
What? Oh, that's normally your thing. What's up, everybody?
No.
BoyFlop!
Yeah, do that now.
I thought we were introducing ourselves. Okay, BoyFlop. You can't expect me to be enthusiastic about this.
Welcome to the BoyFlop.
Yeah.
I'm Family Tool 7X.
And I'm Jonathan Young.
He's Jonathan Young.
He sure is. And I'm Family Jules 7.
Good.
So welcome to BoyFlop episode 7.
Is it the 7th episode?
This is the 7th fucking episode.
What the fuck? That's stupid.
I feel like it's the 40th because I'm so fucking sick of you.
Jules is on his last legs right now.
I'm okay. Like yesterday, I was kind of feeling that. Yesterday, I was in chocolate pudding mode at 4 in the morning.
You went from looking incredibly rejuvenated after coming back from Massachusetts to looking like an alcoholic after doing that VST.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, I talked about it in a video at one point, and I didn't really go into detail. Especially, I'm sure people who don't know anything about music, it just went like right over their head. But I got hired, contracted or whatever, to work on this VST called Shreddage, and a VST is a virtual instrument which you can pretty much just program to sound like an instrument, and in this case it's metal guitar. I got hired to do that, and I have to do that you have to play pretty much like every possible note on a guitar, pretty much any possible way, and a lot of fucking hours go into just holding notes for minutes and minutes and minutes. There's one file I was showing you guys of every possible slide. So fret 1 to fret 2, fret 2 to fret 1, fret 1 to 3, 3 to 1, and then 2 to 3, 3 to 2, like every possible slide you can do on a 24 fret 7 string guitar. And it sucked. I was a little fucking dead inside.
So Jules would always come out of his room just looking like dejected and miserable, and just be like,
grab the nearest bottle of chocolate syrup and just start like pouring it into his mouth.
You guys, like, I think you guys like knew not to like really like.
We were like, hey there, Jules.
Because like, Rich, if you like walked in, like there would probably be a point at which I was like, there was hours I would just lay like back like against the floor just staring at the ceiling with empty eyes.
I think the one time I like when I caught you at your worst is when I was like, I knocked on the door and I was like, Jules, you okay, buddy? Want to go get some coffee? And I like came in and you're just like, and like your head was just like on the desk and you weren't moving, and I was just like, how you doing? And you're just like, just pained groans. Yeah.
The worst part was the end when like literally my fingers were turning black because of all the slides and just random shit that I had to do. Like I was afraid I was getting like necrosis of the fingertips. Yeah. And there would just be like maggots fucking crawling out of my fingers.
That's pretty metal, bro.
That's pretty metal. Yeah, dude. Shreddage. So when that's out, I'll probably fucking tweet about it, and I'm probably gonna have like a coupon code, a coupon code that will probably give you some fucking discount and shit, and support me too, so I'll be talking about that eventually. Anyways, so that was my dark past week, but I've been playing Final Fantasy X all day, so I've been
productive.
Day off. I'm taking a day off.
Yeah, whatever. Nerd.
Fucking lazy bitch.
Nerd.
Yeah. It's like I was actually just telling you before, this is like the first day off, actual like day off I've taken since I've been here.
Yeah.
So it's
like this past week for like everyone was like kind of like pretty bad, just on different levels. Like for me, I'm working on a big project and I'm just anxious about it. John was sick.
I was literally coughing my head off.
Like I said, wake up at 7 a.m. and like I'm just like, I wonder if John's still up, and it's you.
It was weird because like Jules and I were in like the opposite positions. Like I had like a million things that I wanted to get done, but I physically couldn't do them, and Jules like didn't want to do anything.
Yeah,
he had to.
I was like, I was crippled by how much shit I had to do. Yeah. But yeah. So one of the things that we've never done on BoyFlop is actually have like a topic. Like I feel like we were kind of afraid to. Yeah, we're going there because like, I feel like we were kind of afraid to, just because we didn't want to kill like the actual natural like conversation.
And so far it's worked.
So far it's worked.
But how many times can we randomly drift into conversation about Final Fantasy before people
before people like
people start asking for us to
go to Encyclopedia Dramatica against fucking BoyFlop about how much I hate Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. The game sucks.
So
one of the things that like multiple comments from the last BoyFlop is people being like, in like episode 3 you were talking about like you're gonna talk about like girlfriend stories and stuff like that.
It's like, we're still waiting for the girlfriend episode.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like. I feel like I don't have a lot of stories with actual girlfriends so much as just like random encounters with girls. Yeah. But the one that I always fucking put my foot in my mouth with about is.
You're not going to tell me that thing you told me the other night, are you?
No, I don't think I'm going to talk about it.
Oh, good.
There are some stories I'm going to just for the sake of.
They're a little too PG-13 for this PG podcast.
Yeah, we had the good old pool days when we were looking for houses.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
we can't go. We can't go there.
It was just like 2 nights of like
just the most vile
like
things.
Meeting each other for the first time, like getting thrown into looking at houses when we barely knew each other, and then like talking about the dirtiest things to try and like just like blunt force trauma.
Not just not just breaking the ice, but completely like
just
like
fast track getting to know each other and bruising ourselves in the process.
Yeah. I feel like because of the fact that we were all like barely we knew each other from YouTube and Skype and stuff, but like we were about to fucking live together. So I was just like, all right, guys,
let's talk about all of the sexual related things.
I just flopped my dick like right on the table and was like, everyone flip
like, all right, everyone whip it out. Let's just get this out of the way.
Pretty much, and like we talked about just pretty much like everything, just
the raunchiest shit.
Well, yeah, and I think it was good because like I feel like then there was just no surprises.
Yeah, it was just like, well, okay.
Yeah,
but it was good though. I like that. Like
it's like, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm actually the guy from Reddit that has 2 dicks.
Yeah.
Like,
there's 3 of us, but there's 4 dicks on the table.
Yeah, how does that work? This is the floppiest podcast. No.
Oh God,
don't know.
No. Anyways. So the story that I always...
That's my dad, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Jonathan, Dad.
Yeah, Dadathan Young.
I mean, are we just doing like ex-girlfriends anonymous right now? Or are we gonna go around the circle and?
I'll start with the one that I always fucking tell. I told it on a stream once, and people like still have not stopped giving me shit about it. And fuck it, I'm already a shitty person. So
But fuck it.
Fucking A, man.
So there was again, we're gonna start with the sap story of like middle school. I was like, everyone fucking hated me.
Well, we're all gonna have that story.
Everyone fucking hated me. No girls liked me. I barely had any like actual friends. But then I switched. Got
a swirly every day.
There was one point at which I got I got thrown up against a fucking like railing at one point in middle school and like busted my ear, and I was like bleeding like all over the place.
Oh, damn.
Like and I just feel like I don't remember what to, like I couldn't figure out like what to do because like I was just like bleeding, and like this guy was like just pushing me around and being like nerd fucking whatever, and then I feel like he didn't realize like how hard he pushed me, and he pushed me into the railing. I'm like bleeding everywhere, and like he like starts coming over to me, and I think in his nervousness just started laughing. So it was like this traumatizing experience of just like this guy who just like busted my face was slowly creeping up to me like and
you're literally
I just ran screaming, dude. So that's middle school. So then
that's a fun time.
Wait, that was your ex-girlfriend?
No. So I'm putting context in. So then I switched schools. I went to a public school. That was a private school. I actually had a friend who sent me a Facebook message once. He's just like, Jules, I'm really impressed by your YouTube channel. Not just because I've always known you were talented, but like you were so like punchable back in the day.
Oh,
and
no.
now you look so much like more confident, and I'm like, Jesus.
Oh,
and
no.
slightly less punchable.
Jesus.
Oh,
probably still the same amount of punchable. But
I've had some similar things happen where like girls who would like never even like give me a side glance have like that I have since deleted on Facebook will like add me on Facebook and message me like, oh my God, John, you're so much different and you're famous now. And my God.
Once again, like maybe they're going off the reference that I did when I looked at your oldest Facebook picture, which is the bucket hat thing.
That's how I looked in high school. And I'll talk about that once it's my turn to talk about ex-girlfriends.
Okay, cool.
Then I will talk about how much of a fucking punchable fuck I was.
So when I got to high school, suddenly I was just like this, I don't know, like, I don't want to say like attractive, but apparently way more attractive than I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And that just comes with puberty, you know, like you finish going through all the
Can't
awkwardness.
be hot middle schoolers.
Right. It's my favorite. No. Same. I just remember I was just hanging out with this crew of just like, it was the goth kids. I hung out with the goth kids. I mean, big spoiler alert, but
Did you have each other in your top 5 MySpace friends?
Yes, dude. And we all went to Hot Topic together.
Did you steal chocolate milk from the cafeteria when the lunch lady wasn't looking?
Yeah. I actually used to steal okay. I used to just steal cheese.
Just a little blocks of cheese?
No, like, so we had like taco day and there was just cheese.
Oh, shredded cheese.
Okay, so there was shredded cheese.
You would just grab handfuls and just run?
Cheese, and then there was queso, and I would just... I thought it was funny.
Just dip your hands in and just grab like a mound of it and shove it in your pockets.
I thought it was just funny to just be taking all this cheese and then just like sit in the corner of the cafeteria and be like this cheese salesman. Like, yes, you want cheese?
I was going to say, is that how you hit on girls? You just walk up and you're like, hey, you want some pocket cheese?
Napoleon, give me your tots.
I've got pocket cheese. We'll go out.
Hey, girl, you want some tots to go with your tits?
Oh,
damn.
Damn.
You want some tits to go with your tots? You just take your shirt off.
Your definition of teeter tot. So this one girl comes up to me, you know, she's like goth or whatever she is. She's into like anime
or whatever.
She actually, I could attribute to her getting me into some of my first animes and stuff. Like, but I mean, she watched like Inuyasha and stuff, and yeah,
the worst.
I know. So okay, I'm already not painting a good picture of her. It gets worse.
Yeah.
Can't go me.
She's so bad.
So she's like, oh, you're cute or whatever. Like, let's go out. And I was just like, oh my God, this is a girl who wants to go out with me. Like, holy shit. Like, so I was just like, of course, yeah, let's fucking date. Let's whatever.
Yeah.
And probably like a week, 2 weeks into the relationship, it just dawned on me that like she was just not remotely desirable for any by any means of the spectrum of desirable. And you know, obviously you it doesn't matter, you go through like, you know, infatuations with somebody, you're like, oh my God, and then the second it drops and you see the other person for what they are.
God,
like man. It was like I was just like, ugh.
Oh yeah. like she like comes up and she's like, hey, and she's like, ugh. Cool, Jules just spit coffee everywhere almost.
Oh my God. Okay, so then I was presented with the challenge of how do I break up with her? Because this isn't whatever. This is not how I want to spend my first.
How old were you when this happened?
I might have been 15. That's probably good. That's probably a good.
Okay, so like sophomore year or something like that.
Sophomore year.
So you're ahead of me because when I was 15, I didn't know where the vagina is located on a female body.
It's on the chest, just like
right.
It's by the butt, right?
Yeah.
That's what they poop out of, right?
Yeah, it's literally just the butt.
When girls have babies, does it come out of their butt?
They have one hole.
Do girls pee out of their buttholes?
Yeah, same.
Just shit babies and piss out of their ass.
Do they just like puke out the pee?
Ew.
Like, how does it work?
No, they pee like they do in Scary Movie 3 with their fingers.
Oh no!
What?
Have you not seen Scary Movie 3?
Oh, that movie's terrible.
They have aliens that just like they just piss out of their fingers, like they just point and just piss.
Oh, good.
I wish I could do that.
Okay. Cut to the chase. How did you break up with her?
So, I figured I didn't want to like break her heart because she was like really, really into me. And again, suddenly I was desirable or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was seeing all these girls who, you know, were just like interested or whatever. So I figured, okay, I'm okay with the fact of maybe just I'll make her hate me or something so that she breaks up with me. So
perfect.
Decided to cheat on her.
Yeah.
So this was this very calculated.
Perfect. That's absolutely it. Yeah, that's how you get someone to break up with you, Jules.
Yeah. I'm 15, dude.
Just go fucking shit on her doorstep.
Yeah, pretty much. So
just touch her mom's boobs.
Yeah.
So that'll work.
So very
What's
simple.
your mom wearing?
Very simple. Cheated on her. No big deal. With some girl. Just like, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I even told the other girl. Whatever. I'm a shitbag. And first thing I do the next day is I go up to her and I'm like, we gotta talk. I cheated on you. I banged somebody else that's
Perfect.
not you. I banged a not
Foolproof.
you.
On your bathroom floor. I'm sorry. You were out.
I tripped and fell, and I banged another girl.
I also ate all your cheeses because I was hungry.
I've been selling cheese to other women.
So what do you think happened next, Rich?
It didn't work.
It didn't. Yeah. Of course, she gives me the whole like, oh well, because you came to me,
sweetheart.
you care about this relationship,
And because I'm 15 and I don't understand how this works.
I'm literally an idiot.
you clearly care about this relationship, so we'll make it work. That's what she said. She was just like, we'll make this work. We'll work through it.
Oh no!
Oh god, those words.
So I cheated on her 8 more times after that. Every single time I went up to her
But so you were 15 though. Was this cheating like?
Okay.
You weren't just like sticking it in a bunch of dumpers.
There were some
Dumper located.
There were a few penetrated dumpers. I'm not
Okay.
gonna
There are a few prolapsed
But
anuses.
it wasn't like you were just like, I have to get her to break up with me. I will have intercourse with all of these women.
Okay, so it wasn't always
Like,
intercourse.
hey,
Right.
I'm trying to break up with this girl. Can I put it in your dumper?
Yeah.
My girlfriend won't leave me alone.
Yeah. So it wasn't. I didn't bang 9 girls, but like.
I mean, when you're 15, it's like close enough.
Yeah, if you kiss a girl, you're
Well,
cheating,
that's still technically, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
so
still,
being unfaithful.
That's still really fucking trashy. No,
So it was.
you were 15. Like,
I was a shit bag. Like even for 15, that is the shittiest of bags that I was.
sure.
So finally, after the 9th girl, like this was like a year. This has been going on for a year. We dated for a fucking year, and I just literally like, I cheated on you again. Question mark. Period. What the fuck do you want from me?
You're just like, hint.
Yeah. And
Hint?
Yeah, and then she was probably like, oh, well, maybe we just need to like talk more, communicate. And then I was just finally like, we're done. I'm breaking up with you.
You know what? You're just weird and stupid.
You're weird and dumb.
Just go away. There's nothing. I'm not sorry.
I don't like you anymore.
Yeah. You're weird and dumb. Or you're weird and dumb. We're done.
That's like the most dismissive thing you can say. You're weird and dumb. Go away.
There you go, BoyFlop listeners. If you ever want to break up with somebody, either A, cheat on them with 9 people, or 2, call them weird and dumb.
A or 2. Your 2 options.
Now that Jules has set the bar incredibly high for Rich and I's ex-girlfriend stories by cheating on 9 women.
Yeah.
I have a deep fucking treasure chest of these stories.
Yeah.
All right,
John,
you want to
John.
go next?
No,
or
go
should I go
next,
next?
John.
It's like fucking therapy, dude.
My history with women is just about the opposite of what everybody seems to think it is, because like I do the whole like I'm like that guy with cheekbones who plays Disney songs on YouTube.
You're
like
player.
Right, I mean it's like, but like in
a
reality,
player.
No,
That's
but
what
like
girls like, you have cheekbones. Let's fuck.
yeah, well, but I mean, you know what I mean though, and like I'm
Yeah.
brutally honest about it. Like I mean, I'm a fucking
You're dashing, whatever.
Well, I mean, but it's not like that. It's like
no, you can admit it.
I know that I have cheekbones, and I know that I sing
with the
Disney
cheekbone.
songs. Like
I got it from my
it's
dad.
not well,
I
right.
got it
I
from
actually
my
did. Like
dad.
he looked like exactly like me when he was my age. But anyway,
Now we know what to look forward to.
except with
Jesus.
black hair.
Nice.
But anyway, but it wasn't always like that. Everybody just like I'll get girls.
This is the dream sequence.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
flashback, like,
Once
right.
upon a time.
So like I'll get girls messaging me, and they message me with this kind of like assumption that I'm this yeah, Jonathan Young, like, I'll show you how it's done, baby. Come in here and I'll play some Disney for you. Like,
One more time.
it's like,
do that one more time.
No. Well, but like,
I almost came.
People project this image onto like what they think that you're like based on what they see of you, and that's just how social interaction works. But like,
especially online.
Yeah, well, and especially when I'm singing Disney songs and I'm like acting confident, when in reality, like, being in front of a video camera and being on stage.
In reality, I go into your room and you're just like sitting in front of a D&D stream with like a slice of pizza on your bare chest.
Seriously though.
Like, the stream sucks.
Seriously though, it's like
slice with your feet,
but like it's ironic because like just because of my priorities and how much time I spent doing different things, like I'm more confident on a stage pretending like I'm good with women than I actually am with women. So anyway, when I was Jules' age, when I was at the ripe age of 15, I had the long sort of...
Did you have swoopy hair?
Have you seen old pictures of me?
Yeah.
It's like...
Did you look like you remember the Hansons?
It was Owen Wilson's hair a decade ago.
Nice.
It was like just the almost shoulder length, just straight. I mean, I had brown hair.
Literally the same hair.
Right.
Literally the same.
Right.
Hair.
Yeah. I kind of did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody had it. I mean, yeah, it was kind of similar to what you had.
Mid to late 2000s.
Right. Mid to late 2000s. Like I listened to like, you know, it's that sort of haircut. Like I listened to Hinder and I like, yeah, I mean, it's that kind of thing.
You
like
just ruined my image of you.
Well, but okay.
Gone are the cheekbones of yours.
They weren't as much there back then either. But so picture this. Picture me with like baby fat. I was still really skinny, but like the cheekbones weren't in yet.
Listening to Lips of an Angel on repeat.
Listening to Lips of an Angel on repeat. Wearing a shirt that had 2 crossed pictures of guitars on them. Yep.
Okay, now you lost me.
Yep. Yeah, I was that guy. That guy. And then
in the bucket.
Bootcut jeans, and not because I was a redneck, but because I just didn't like tight jeans. That was before skinny jeans were a thing.
Yeah.
That was when
you're painting an image of yourself that just makes me want to fucking like slam you in the face.
I want to slam me in the face. I hate everything about like what I represented back then.
Go ahead.
So ripped bootcut jeans that were too big for me, crossed guitar shirt that's also too big for me, some sort of necklace that I bought at like a Renaissance festival, and like one of those like leather rock star bracelets.
Yep.
Oh,
nice.
it was bad.
What I was going to say is I have a particular voice for when I'm like discussing how people talk in the past, and I think this is most applicable to how you're describing yourself now, and it goes something along the lines of, hello.
I mean, so here's that's what it was. So and then like shoes that literally my uncle found like around a telephone wire.
Nice.
Like just the worst kind of Nikes. Anyway.
So you were a player.
I was a player.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was too good for haircuts. I thought that I was too good for wearing clothes that fit.
Too good for deodorant.
I thought that I was... so what I did, I would go to school. I would not talk to any girls. I would make butt jokes. I was like...
Same.
That hasn't changed.
I would make butt jokes. I would lazily play drums in the concert band because I was too good for that shit. And then I would go home. I would walk home with my best friend Bo. And Bo and I were in a couple bands together in high school. Cool. And
did he also have a bucket hat?
We had the same hairstyle, and we wore about the same sort of.
I thought you were going to say the same bucket.
Did you guys trade clothes?
We could have. I mean, he wore like the Guns N' Roses shirts, and I mean,
favorite band.
Guns N' Roses. I got nothing against Guns N' Roses, but I'm painting a picture for you, right?
Yeah.
So we would walk home. We would walk home on the 5-minute walk home. We would talk about how girls didn't like us and how girls are dumb because they didn't like us.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've got each other.
No, I mean, that was it. It's like we'd walk home and be like, man, I just wish she would notice me. Yeah. And then we'd go to my house and Bo would run past his house to get his laptop, and then we'd play StarCraft 2 for 2 hours, and then we'd record our next album. And
this'll get us, girl.
Yeah, if I'll make her like me once she hears this rock album.
That's all was going through my head when I was learning guitar. I was like, damn, girls are gonna fucking dig
That's
the shit
okay.
out
Anyway,
of me when I can play this D chord. G chord.
So that's who I was, and actually, I found out retrospectively that like I had this image of myself as like being like really grungy nonconformist, and like girls will never like me because they just don't understand. Yeah. And in reality, there were some girls that liked me, but I was too clueless to realize that they liked me, and then I was also not gutsy enough to do anything about it. Yeah. So some girls that I actually like really, really crushed on in high school, it was high school, so like they didn't say anything to me, I didn't say anything to them. We talked and acted like we were like just thick as thieves, but nothing ever came of it. Anyway, so needless to say, the first time that I kissed a girl was after I had already graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. And the first time that I dated a girl was also after high school. So in high school, I'm just gonna bang like through the list. It's a short list. It's a short list. I promise.
Bang.
Just bang it out.
Except none of that actually happened. The first girl that I really had a crush on was a friend of mine's sister, and she. I mean, we were both like kind of in that like sort of goth / scene sort of like.
Hinder haircut.
Like Hinder, My Chemical Romance, that sort of thing.
It's my favorite band.
Dude, that's the shit.
And so I couldn't get her to like me, so my solution to that was to start playing guitar to get her to like me. Uh-huh. And so we would hang out with my other friends and her and her friends, and I would be that guy who would grab the whatever it was that my friend had, like a BC Rich or some shitty guitar. No. It was a terrible. I would, hey man, can I borrow your guitar? I just want to like
with
play
like
around
the glow in the dark green strings.
No, sorry. I'd grab his guitar and I'd like that was I'd play like I'd play like Almost Easy by Avenged Sevenfold. It's my favorite band. Yeah, I know. And try to impress her, and it would never work. Those were good times. I'd play some Avenged Sevenfold on the guitar.
I just imagine you like play guitar, like, Avenged Sevenfold. She's like, no, like, and you're just like, well, this is by them.
No, come back to me. It's almost easy.
I don't know why I went to Pickles, the drummer.
Yeah, because he's from Minnesota.
Right.
So it didn't work. I'd give up eventually on trying to impress her with the guitar, and we'd play Halo 3. And but anyway, there was one point, and I talked about this in that one vlog that I did. I was trying to brag to her about my new album coming out with my band, and I was like, we're playing a show this weekend.
My dad's producing it.
It's like, no, we're playing a show this weekend at the public library, and it's gonna be pretty cool. You should probably come. And she looked at me and she's like, you're not gonna make it, right? Oof. Like word for word, it was like the knife in the chest, just right in front of me, just. So soon after that, she got pregnant. Not with me, with another guy.
I might call into question your character if you had a kid and you just moved to
and
California.
they are. I believe they're still together. I think they're pretty. That was when I was 16 and she was 16. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you had a baby at 16, nothing against you. Do your thing.
Yeah. My mom had me at 16.
That is not.
Casey Neistat did that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not the path that I wanted to go down.
Right.
So as soon as she started dating that guy, it was like, okay. And then it was like, okay, I should probably move on now.
Yeah.
And so I did. And then I liked that was sophomore year that happened, and then of high school. And then I liked a couple girls. Thought that they didn't like me because they just didn't get it, and they were making a mistake by putting me in the friend zone. And I could go on about how
we've discussed that.
We've discussed how bullshit the friend zone is in the past. Yeah. But anyway,
it's literally up there with the
thing. Later, I would find out that a couple girls really did like me, and some of those girls I liked back, but didn't do anything about it. Then I dated this chick. We kissed once, and then she cheated on me. Once or twice.
9 times?
No, she
What's her name? Family Jewel 7X.
yeah. No, I dated it. It was one of those relationships where it's like we were both so naive that the relationship, like, she was like this Catholic girl going to a Catholic college, and I was this guy who had never dated before, going to a private music school, or not private, a small music college. And it was one of those relationships where like we would message each other like, "You're really cute. I'm thinking about you." And that was it. Like that was the relationship. Nice. And so we kissed. She broke up with me because she had a fling with one of the douchiest guys from my school. And then we got back together after that, and then we broke up because she called me saying that she was starting to have feelings for that same guy. And I was like, "Oh, okay, so I guess we're done then." And then she,
well, okie dokie then.
That was enough. And then like I was starting to get pissed. I was at an all-time low concert at the time. This was freshman year of college.
You're at an all-time low.
I was at an all-time low show, it was before they got on stage. I went outside of First Avenue in Minneapolis, and I was talking to her on the phone, and she started getting really emotional because I was like getting kind of upset. It was like, what's the fucking point in me dating you if, like, because she was like acting like she was like, "Well, I'm starting to have feelings for him, but that doesn't mean that we have to break up." It was like one of those things where she was like kind of trying to play the field, and I like didn't get it. So but like I wasn't stupid, so I was like, okay, you know what? I think it's time for us to finish things up here. And she started breaking down and put her friend on the phone, and her friend was like, "You know, it's midterms week, and I think you guys are just stressed. So I think you need to just maybe take a break for a little bit."
So she called her friend to talk to you.
No, her roommate was in or whatever. She put her friend on the phone. She gave the phone to her friend, and her friend was like, "I think you guys just need a little bit of space."
Oh my God!
And I was like, "Nope, we're done." I hung up, went back in, and saw All Time Low, and it was super fucking pop punk.
Nice.
This girl that I had kissed once. Anyway, so that was the joke of a relationship. Then I dated a girl who was 2 years younger than me, and I was like her like senior crush in high school. And that was like one of those relationships where we were both horny and we kind of went through the motions, and then realized that it was a terrible idea retrospectively. She ended up also breaking up with me because she had feelings for another dude.
Damn.
And then I did. Okay, so that's we're halfway done with all of the girls I've ever dated in my life, which is 4. Then I dated this chick who I met on Tinder. And
the best kind.
Yes.
She was really, really. She was a hipster. This was like when I was starting to get out of my awkward long hair phase, but not quite. I still didn't know how to dress. I still didn't know how to act. I was still really fucking awkward.
Yeah.
And I had never been in an adult relationship before. So, because the other ones were just juvenile high school shit.
Yeah.
Even though I was in college, I did that late. So then I dated this chick. She was really sarcastic. She was like really hipster, only listened to indie music, was just like too good for everything except the counterculture. And
sounds like a winner.
She went to school out of state, and I got really attached, and she had only been in one relationship before me, and that was like a 4-year relationship. So it was one of those things where like she never got closure with her ex of 4 years. I had no idea what I was doing.
Recipe for disaster.
Plus long distance.
Yeah.
So it was like she didn't know how to act, and she didn't know how to reciprocate feelings with someone other than her ex properly. Yeah. And I was like trying to be the perfect boyfriend. So I was like bending over backwards to make her happy. And she like it didn't matter how hard I tried because she wasn't going to be happy with me. But it got to this point where like, she just like, we would have these conversations, and I was so fucking stupid. Like we would have these conversations where she would say something like, "There are some days where I just really don't like you." And it was some really savage shit. Like she would say shit like that, and I like didn't like. I thought that it was like I needed to pick up that slack, when in reality, that should have been the red flag.
Yeah.
So that went on for like a month and a half after that. We dated for probably 4 or 5 months, and then I finally was like, yeah, this is dumb. And then my most recent relationship was the first real, not long distance, not juvenile, actually like sort of adult relationship that I've ever been in. And we dated for 6 months, and and it was kind of the relationship where like it was the last veil being pulled up where like I finally sort of was like, I've got it out of my system now. Yeah. I've made my mistakes. I'm not going to do this shit again. It was one of those things where like we also met on, this was a low point. We met from Hot or Not.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was, I actually, here's what happened. I had gotten a match on Tinder, and we had set up a date, a place and a time that we were going to meet.
McDonald's play place.
No. It was this coffee shop in St. Paul. We flirted on Tinder. We were like, hey, let's meet at this time at this coffee shop in St. Paul. And I sat there for 30 minutes. She didn't show up. Never messaged me. So that night that I was like, got stood up, I was literally living in my parents' basement after dropping out of a small music school. Yeah. Lowest of the low. So instead of
an all-time low.
Right. So, you know, so
I went to an all-time low.
So I went on Hot or Not. And I was, you know, I was just like, fuck it, going on Hot or Not. I'm going to flip through 1,000 girls. And one of these chicks I ended up dating.
You click hot on every single one.
Yeah, right. No. So just by chance, she happened to be on Hot or Not that same night when neither of us went on Hot or Not that much. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those things where we were both lonely. We were both projecting. Mm-hmm. We both were stuck in Minnesota in a place that we didn't want to be. And it was just not... We both told ourselves it was a really good thing, and I think we both knew that it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Or maybe we didn't, because the way that we both, like... for the first 3 months, it was all sunshine and projecting.
As it always is.
And then after that, I mean, it was one of those things where, like... Hindsight is 20/20. Yeah. You know? I mean, like... when you're lonely and when you're young, when you're Jonathan.
No, John.
I didn't even go there.
when you're lonely, when you're young, when you don't know what to look for, you put up with red flags that you don't realize are red flags.
You do it anyway, and regardless.
Yeah, but I don't do that shit anymore. Like there'll probably be a time when I fuck up again and put up with some red flags like that. But like when I was dating this chick, it was the first. And I'm going to say adult with very big air quotes because that was the relationship where it was the fireworks. Yeah. So we'd be in the car and she'd be like, in passing, be like, well, I seriously, like, if you think about it, I think one of the reasons that we get along so well together is because of our star signs.
Did you tell her to vomit?
Yes, I told her. I was like,
did you tell her to tuck and roll?
You just puked on her lap.
I was like, I said to her, I was like, but here's it's the difference between saying to her that's bullshit and saying to her that's bullshit and realizing that you need to break up with her. And I did not do that. So I was like, I think that's fucking stupid that you think that. And she was like, okay, whatever. And we kept dating. Right, and nice. I mean, but like, good. And then it would be like, we'd be at a hotel and we'd be at a hotel with me and her friends celebrating her friend's birthday. And she would refuse to go in the hot tub because she didn't want to mess up her makeup. And like stuff like that. It's like, looking back on it, it's like, holy shit, we were both so insecure. Yeah. We were both projecting so hard. And if I had been watching this like a movie, I would have been saying to myself, this guy's a fucking idiot. Well, this guy's so fucking stupid.
I mean, that's hindsight 20/20, dude.
Right. Yeah. But it's, so it was one of those things where, like, because she had a decent sense of humor and because she looked good with makeup on, it was one of those things where, and nothing against makeup ladies, like, this girl could not be happy without makeup looking perfect.
Yeah.
She could not be happy unless, and it was one of those things where she's like, well, everything happens for a reason. You know, it was the worst.
And
it was the worst.
And then you like throw a slice of pizza at her and like, why'd that happen?
You know, but I mean, I was at fault too, though. Like you know, I mean, I had a song that I had written 75% of the song before we met, and then I finished it and was like, "Hey, babe, I wrote this song for you."
You like filled in the blanks.
Classic Jonathan Young.
It's your boy.
It's your boy. I mean, like, so I was projecting. I know now that I was projecting, and I think she knows that she kind of fucked up as well.
So you just told her that she's weird and dumb?
No, actually, she called me one night and she was like, well, I'm breaking up with you because I'm just so beside myself and anxious and depressed because you're going to be moving to California.
It's not you, it's me.
No. It gets better. It gets juicier.
God.
She calls me.
Cookie told me to.
No, she probably would have done that. No, yeah. I mean, it's like one that she texts me. She's like, I just can't stand Somalians. Like, this girl, like, had some shit going on. Like, and I was like, that's kind of fucking racist, babe. And she's like, no, like, every single time that one of them comes into my store, they're just terrible. And it's
they're all pirates.
It's like, do you not realize why that's racist? Anyway.
Jesus.
Anyway, so, but here's what happened. She calls me. She's like, I'm just so anxious about you moving to California. I can't take it anymore. Next day, she deletes me on Snapchat. Ooh. And I get a message on Instagram from a girl that I don't know. And it says, look, my ex-boyfriend is with your girlfriend, ? And I just wanted to make sure that you knew because he's been lying to you. Or no, he's been lying to me. And I just found out about this through a friend. And I just wasn't sure if she was being honest with you. So now we have this situation where she lied to me or she twisted the truth about why she was breaking up with me.
Well, of course she's not going to just come out.
Deleted me on Snapchat, was posting snaps of her in bed with this guy the day after we broke up.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the situations where it was like, depending on who you ask, she cheated on me.
Right.
So like, you know, all of that happened. I get this message. So now she's like arguably cheating on me with a guy who's cheating on his girlfriend, which is perfect.
Good.
You know, they deserved each other. It was great. And then, nice. You know, so I tell my good friend, Grace, who was on my, you know, on my Disney album, all this different stuff. Grace messages me. She's like, yeah, I'm glad you're not with her anymore because everybody, they worked at the same mall. And Grace texts me. She's like, everybody in the mall hates her. She's such a bitch to everybody. Yeah. And it was one of those things where it was like, you don't realize.
Yeah. Hindsight.
It's the veil, dude.
Not just that, but like it's like normally I hate it when people post shit on Facebook like how to tell if he's really a genuine guy. But there was one that I saw. There's one that I saw that actually struck a chord with me, and that was you can tell if someone's actually a good person by how they treat like waitresses or waiters, like how they treat like strangers that are supposed to be taking care of them or whatever. And like that's something that I noticed. Like my ex-girlfriend was mean to everybody except her boy toy and her best friend. Damn. And sometimes her mom. Yeah. And like Grace texted me. I got this message from this chick who her fling had cheated on.
Fat bitch.
That was it was like it suddenly dawned on me that the only part of her personality that I had seen was the part that she had chosen to show me. And then I sort of realized that I had done the same thing, albeit in less of a straight up bitch and more of a insecure guy kind of a way.
Right.
But anyway, so after that, it's just funny because like looking back, when we started dating, she was like, I just don't do relationships. I can't get attached to people. I don't do relationships. And since the 6 months since I have broken up with her, the person who said that they don't do relationships has been in at least 2 relationships since. Cool. And I have been single. So it was one of those things where I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna stop projecting. I'm gonna start being honest with myself and being honest with girls. So now,
so you just handed her a folded piece of paper that just said you're a big fat bitch. Yeah,
no, I mean good. Like we don't hate each other. We're not on bad terms or anything. I mean, we certainly don't talk.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Good.
But like, it was one of those things where like now, like when I talk to a girl, like fucking honesty. Like, hey, you're cute. If you want to come over and fucking cuddle. And that's it. Like, let's fucking do it,
ladies.
Right, but I mean, but like, seriously, like,
you want to just Netflix and chill, but like,
right, but like,
seriously,
I mean, but like, because like, I'm making 2 videos a week. I don't have time to fucking, you know.
I don't have time
so
for
if you're
girls.
a girl and you're into Jonathan Young, he's gonna put it in your dumper, or he.
No,
doesn't have time
I mean,
for it.
I don't mean it like that, but it's like
you can make a cameo in his video.
Like I would fucking I would
sit on my lap while I edit.
I mean, it's one of those things where like I've just like I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest with people and honest with myself, you know, because it's like because now like I talk to girls and it's like, listen, I really fucking like you, but if I date you right now, we're both gonna be miserable because I'm gonna want to give you everything. But not only is it usually long distance since I only ever talk to people on the internet, but also it's like I'm so fucking busy. You know, and like I don't want to date someone if I'm not gonna be able to do it. You know,
that's literally like I was just having this conversation with somebody. Like, you know, all throughout all the relationships I've ever had that have been just like that. Like I actually have a very similar story as that, and I'll tell that soon. But like. What it comes down to is like it's the same thing that everyone tells you that's just like a million times easier said than done.
Yeah.
Be your fucking self and not just like oh because I just have to be myself. Like literally if it gets you off to sit around and play StarCraft all day, like
fucking do it.
Fucking do that and do that until the girl who also enjoys playing StarCraft because they exist.
Yeah. They fucking do. Like I've been talking to chicks who play D&D.
Right. If you try to change yourself, it's gonna get exhausting. And you're not gonna want to do it in the long term.
Yeah, this chick, like I'm fucking this chick from Minnesota, really, really, really sweet girl. I'm going on a date with her on New Year's Eve. We were like, hey, let's and like she's great. But like we were just like super fun. Like, she's like, yeah, I'll fucking kick your ass at Mario Kart, and I'm like, bitch, you won't. Damn. And I mean, it's like,
it's
cool.
And
like, and we were just like, hey, let's fucking, you know. See a movie, grab a hotel room on New Year's Eve, and then I'll go back to, you know, wherever, and you go back to California, and but like honesty is attractive, and
it's not just attractive; it's essential for not just a relationship, for anything, like even just a hookup, anything. Like there needs to be fucking communication. We were talking about that yesterday. Like, see, okay, I went through it's your turn, Rich. So like I know. But I will say that I've been in a handful of situations or two or three where the relationships weren't a thing. It was no strings attached and it was just hookups.
Yeah.
Literally like every single time, like you know what, like if you're listening to this and like, you know, you're going to do whatever you do. Just do it honestly and fucking communicate. Like, you can't be here and just
communication is everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, I would sit them down and like, even though it was just super awkward when all the fireworks are going on, the butterflies are happening and we're going to fucking do the dirty pretty soon or whatever you're thinking. Like, I had to sit down and just be like, listen, this is where I'm at. This is what I want.
Yeah.
This is like if there's any disagreement, if you don't want something,
then we're done.
We're not doing this.
And it's not because I don't like you. It's because we're not gonna pretend like we want the same thing here.
Yeah. If I wake up tomorrow and you want 4 children, like I don't. I want that.
Exactly.
I want that gone now. I want that.
Right.
You know?
Like I just had that conversation with this chick, and it's like it's great because it's like fucking, you know, it's like we're gonna. Like, be honest. And I think the problem with kids these days is that, like, I don't know. I hate to sound like whatever. I think
Jonathan,
every time you use that phrase, I just imagine you with the cane going, "You
Right.
damn kids!" Like just shaking it at a passing bus.
I mean,
Kids
it's one of,
these
like
days, I don't
fucking.
know.
I mean, it's something about like John Green novels and like The Notebook. It's like everybody feels like they have to be cheesy, and everybody feels like they have to like.
No, you just have to be sincere. Like being cheesy's fine. Like literally, like if you're
but like everybody has this idea of like.
What romance is supposed to be.
Yeah, everybody has this projection of like, when I date someone, we have to go stargazing and we have to give each other our hearts.
If that's what
and it's
you're
going to be
into,
amazing. And it's like, but like, you're not actually fucking into that. I don't know anybody who's actually fucking into that.
Into that.
You're into that, but like, you're not going to date a girl who only wants to do that. You're going to want to date a girl who likes listening to 8-bit soundtracks as much as you do,
seriously.
and who likes fucking playing Final Fantasy and shit like that. But like, I know these people that are dating people who they don't even know. Mm-hmm. They don't even know them, but like because they go stargazing together, they think that it's perfect.
I think people
it's the worst.
I think people confuse love as something that they're consuming when, and I was telling you this earlier, Rich, love very quickly becomes you giving yourself to somebody else and helping them become a better person. And they
but
need
if
to
they
be the
don't
same
accept
thing.
that,
And I don't agree with the whole like you have to give 50-50 because then if you don't if you give more than 50, it's like I gave my 50, girl, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like bitch, keep up with my 50, and then you start arguing about who unloaded the dishwasher last.
Right. I think it should be like thinking about it 60-60 almost, you know, like you should be willing because you care about and you love that other person to be able to go that extra mile because you genuinely care about them rather than making a contractual agreement of, you know.
But like, I don't know, it's one of those things where like if at any point you feel like shit because of them and it's not out of like
follow the warning signs,
right?
It's not easy,
right? But like that, like the person that you actually are going to spend the rest of your life with, you're never going to feel like shit being with them.
Right.
If you feel like shit at all, you're in the wrong fucking relationship.
The person that you're with should be somebody that makes you feel comfortable about being yourself. And I mean, it sounds so much simpler than it is. I mean, but like you need to be with somebody who like deep down genuinely is okay with the humor that you're okay with, the things that you do on a normal basis, like
and both
they have
of
to be
you
okay
shitting
with
and farting.
Not to mention
they have to be okay with your grossness.
both people have to be okay without the other person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, it's codependency.
And
that's gonna tie in. If I ever get a chance to talk, that's gonna tie.
Sorry,
in greatly.
Rich.
Tie in greatly.
Your turn.
Is it my turn? Can I talk? I was falling asleep. No,
Did you raise your hand?
What? Yeah.
Do you have the conch shell? Do you have John's juice with the dead fly?
Gross.
Yeah, I saw that fly in there, and I was just like, rip. All right, so there's like a bunch of things said where I was just like, oh, I gotta bring that up. Just throwing it out there now. For me, I'm fucking terrible at relationships, and I think I've talked to both of you about this. Yeah. I'm just bad at them, and that's a combination of. And my dad's probably listening. My dad being a fucking misogynist after my mom and him split.
Oh.
And that had an impact on me. Me being really dumb about girls, like most of the way, actually, part of the way into college, actually. And just having a low tolerance for bullshit. So those red flags things you were talking about, I can't.
I envy you.
Fucking can't.
I envy you.
It's bad though, because like with some relationships that have potential, I feel like some of those you like talk it out and you like talk it and you're like, okay, we get it. For me, it's just like, nope, done. I can't fucking handle this.
Yeah.
And I'm just so fucking bad at relationships.
Yeah.
But since we're like kind of like talking, like we were both like talking about like the kind of like where it all started, like what happened. Like, through middle school, I was like on the same page as you, John, where I was just like, what's a vagina? Yeah. and
I was like that through high school. Fuck it.
No, yeah, actually, like I was gonna say, like through high school, I was like horny as fuck, but I used like that kind of like I was like those misogynist overtones that I was getting from my dad as kind of an excuse to not be able to admit that I was kind of scared of girls.
Yeah.
And like no, it was fucking because I was just like
anybody did.
Well, no, like even all the way up until like junior year, and like it just didn't make sense until in junior year. There was this one girl who I didn't even like because, you know, let me preface once again by saying that I'm a fucking idiot with girl. I'm just stupid. But
you can't be worse than me.
Well, anyway, and she, like, in retrospect, she was really fucking cool. But at the time, I was just like A, kind of intimidated, and B, really dumb, and C, really only caring about like being a dumb nerd and being like self-conscious, and really it was just completely selfish.
Yeah.
Being like I was the weird and dumb one.
Yeah.
But like she was really cool, and we shared a lot of the same interests. She was actually really cute, and she was like super nerd, and she was really honest with herself. Like the level of confidence I wish I could have possessed at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
But for some reason, maybe it's just because I was like playing guitar all the time, and maybe that's what she was into. But she would like hit me up on AIM. This should tell you how long ago this was. AOL Instant Messenger. She would hit me up, and we would just like talk for hours and hours and hours. Then finally, because I was an idiot, she finally was just like, "Hey, do you want to like go see a movie?" And like I finally got it right then and there. I was still scared, so I was like, I have a girlfriend already, and then we just never talked again.
No.
Okay, so that's where it started, and I was just like, man, I'm an idiot.
Oh,
and like,
no!
I felt bad about that forever, and like she's doing great. She's still really cool. I haven't really talked to her in a while, but like we're still friends on Facebook. I don't know. And that was like the first thing, and then like past that. It's just been like a series of relationships for me where it's like nothing too crazy, but like I think I told like the figure I threw to you, Jules, is like I haven't had a relationship last more than like 3 or 4 months at the longest, and that's because something like I don't know if it's just because I'm bad with girls or if I just pick weird ones or something, but like it always turns into a situation where it's like, and I told you this story where it's like. We get up, we spend the day together, we make breakfast, we go see a movie, we go to the park, we have like a fucking fantastic day, we wind down, spend the entire day, everything's all lovey-dovey cutesy, fucking cuddle, do stuff, go to bed, wake up, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go hang out with so-and-so, so I'll see you later. You never hang out with me. And I'm just like, I cannot tolerate it. So right
that's
there, I'm
good
just like,
though. That's fucking good.
Well, right there, I'm just like, we're done. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like, I can't fucking, if there's no give on your end, then I cannot fucking.
Dude, that's good though. I fucking envy you because like, I would put up with so much shit from girls.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad.
Like,
and
you were talking about red flags, and I'm just like, dude, the first red, it's almost bad to a fault. Like, I admit that I fucking suck with girls. I still do, because first sign of like anything but sheer perfection past that like honeymoon phase thing is I'm just like, no.
That's not bad with girls though. That's just low bullshit tolerance. Like if you ask me, because like I've like
and like I think you guys have figured out I with bullshit I cannot tolerate it in any regard.
And like I'm starting to get more and more that way, especially with girls, and that's why I'm trying to be so honest with girls and just be like, look, like this is where I'm at in my life. I don't even want to date anybody for the next like year and a half at least. And like I fucking tell people that because it's like. If you want babies with me because you saw my YouTube video, you know, you're gonna have to wait a little bit and see if I'm still, you know, I mean,
step off, babe.
No, I mean it's not like that. Like I'm making it sound like I'm a douche, but it's like
no, you're lovely.
Thanks, Rich. No, but like I'm jealous of you though because
it doesn't feel good though. Like it always sucks.
But it probably feels better.
It feels better than putting up with red flags.
I don't know because like usually at the first sign of bullshit, I'm just like, nope,
that's
sorry,
good.
Can't do it.
Well, no, like, and my sister's like that too, and it's funny because like
you mentioned that before.
Yeah, because
how she's just like whatever.
Right, like when I was getting out of my awkward phase was right when my sister was getting into puberty. So it's like when I was starting to be like, fuck relationships. That's right when my sister was getting to the age where she was like looking at boys. So it was like, nice. My sister and I were like
Holy
super
crap,
close.
Dad.
My sister and I were super close. So, and we still are really fucking close. Like we're fucking playing Dungeons and Dragons over break. Like
nice.
we chill all the time. And like, I would almost go so far as to say that she's like probably one of my best friends, if not my best. That's cool. She knows me like better than pretty much anyone. So it's like, my sister like got to this point after hearing me be super pop punk angsty for such a long time that like now my sister, and also like I was coming out of the I dress like shit phase right when she was starting to care about how she dresses. So like my priorities when I was trying to fix my shit, I feel like they kind of rubbed off on her a little bit. And I don't mean that. I know Emmeline will probably listen to this eventually and be like, you're trying to fucking take credit for my life? Nice. And it's like,
you rubbed off on your sister?
No. But now it's like, so she kind of like saw me trying to get my shit together and started to like care about some of the same things. So now it's like, she like knows how to like pick out clothes really well to look fucking pop punk, and that's what she wants, and she rocks it. And then like she's so confident in that guys will just hit on her left and right, and she'll be like, nah,
Whatever.
nah, I don't fucking want a relationship.
Whatever.
And she dated this guy, and it was almost like the opposite scenario where what you would think it would be, where like he was like super sensitive and insecure about a lot of different things and like projecting, and he like wanted her to be the star-crossed girlfriend, and she was like this fucking like Green Day rebel girl kind of like
Same,
I mean, so it was like as
that.
soon as he started trying to do the whole like I think I'm falling for you, she would be like I think I'm falling for nachos, like and it was great. It was like, and I saw all this happen and I was like and now she's single again and she's very happy with herself, but
That's cool.
But it's like I'm super proud of her because like I'm glad that she didn't make the same mistakes that I did, because now it's like she's like getting off on the right foot, and now she's going to be able to run further than I was when I was her age because I didn't, or she didn't trip and fall, you know?
See, like, I talked about probably, I think it was like on the first BoyFlop that like my brother, like in complete direct contrast to me, just like purposely like approached and all this stuff, but just avoided relationships at all costs. Yeah. Because he was just like, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I want to deal with it. And I was just
I think the phrase you used is like, girls are inefficient. Like
right.
That,
well, pretty much.
like,
but it's, you know, initially I was like, damn, that's cool, because like I was so distracted and like, you know, I think like all the fucking hours I could have practiced guitar if I wasn't, you know, chasing after
looking at tits.
Pussy. Yeah. Like, but then I thought about it and I'm just like, but I learned so fucking much. I learned so much by just fucking up relationships and stuff that was like, like, and you know, I think I don't want people to be deterred from like, oh wow, girls sound like you're the guys even like,
relationships sound hard. Pro tip, they are.
I so far as argue a lot of the time that a lot of this just like, well, girls are like this, guys are like this. Like, it's the fucking same on both genders. I mean, I'm guilty of friend zoning. Like, you know, like
friend zoning doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist, but I am guilty of like being in a situation where like the girl was like head over heels for me for a long time, and
that's not your fault.
And again, in the fucking, you know, Tips Fedora guy who is in the friend zone, it's not the girl's fault either.
That was me. That was me, and I think we actually talked about that.
We did.
Yeah, we talked. I'm not going to get into that again, but if you complain about the friend zone, fucking stop. Get a haircut. Wear deodorant.
Sell your fedora.
Pursue other interests.
Yeah, fucking
pursue your own interest. Like that's. I mean, what it keeps coming down to
is like stop looking at the same one fucking thing. As,
you know what
like the trophy, the thing.
You know what I think the problem is though is A, taking shit too seriously, and B,
well, I think taking shit too seriously is kind of general. Like, I think it's more so the fact that just like, but it's like, be serious about think about your fucking future. Like, be serious about the stuff that is gonna like matter to you, like in the long run. And
there were a couple things that I read. The first thing that I read was that, and this sounds really morbid, or not morbid, but it sounds really like nihilistic.
Sure.
If you think about it, the chances that the next person you date will be the person that you marry are pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not saying that you should just fucking
pull
your dick out and fuck everybody because it's not going to be the person you marry.
It's just a lottery. Just buy as many tickets as you can.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like what you can learn from that is it's not the end of the world, you know? Like you date somebody and you think it's the end of the world if they look at you the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know, like you date somebody and it's like, if I break up with her, I'm gonna never find another girl ever. Yeah. And I'll be brokenhearted for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I see people get like stuck in that for
Stop
years.
Dating Sweetie Bird or Sylvester.
Yeah.
I see people get stuck in this like, I'll never fall in love again. Ugh. And it's like, fuck off. Like fucking fuck off.
You can't say that though, because just like, I mean,
when you're there,
it's the fucking worst, dude.
Oh, I know. I've been there. Every relationship I've been in, I've been there.
I say that because it sucks. Like, when you're in that place and people are just like, dude, fuck off, there's plenty of girls in the sea and or whatever, and fish, just go fuck a fish, dude, I'm being
just go fuck a fish.
Like it's, you have to.
It's true though.
Well, the thing is like, if you say it to someone who's at that stage after like a breakup or something, it still means something to them.
Right.
Like that statement doesn't, but the person is still in their mind. So, there's other people. It's just like, I don't care about other people.
Right, but like, you have to like reach that, like somehow. You
just gotta give it time.
However you well, it's not just time though. It's also like self-realization and like rationality that like you need to, at some point, you need to wake up and realize that she's gone and you can do better.
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
I know. But like,
takes time.
You could say easier said than done about fucking anything. Like, you could say easier said than done about the spiel that we went on about, just pursue your interests. Well, what if I'm in college?
It's not that hard. If you, I feel like that's something that's not that hard if you can. The hardest part of that is letting go of all the things that don't fucking matter. That's tough. Yeah. But
hypothetically,
I'm gonna get kind of uncharacteristically poetic for a second. One thing that I actually have noticed, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. Breakups are almost exactly the same thing as falling in love. You go through exactly the same phases.
Wow, that's so deep.
Shut up. What I'm saying is a lot of the whole, like, fucking sitting in the corner eating Ben and Jerry's and watching Daredevil on repeat, which I've done, is good. Obsessing. Just the way that you obsessed over her you're obsessing over this girl. Yeah. Just in almost the inverse way. Because you had something
and now it's gone. And you cared about that person. Right. And it's really, it affects you. It takes fucking time.
And the first time I've been the least sentimental in this group.
That's why
it's true.
That's why I was one of those people that, like, I was always like, I'm not a jealous kind of guy. I don't get jealous. And it's stupid because what jealousy really is it's just a fear of losing something that you really, really care about. It's a fear of being put in
it's not yours.
That's the definition of jealousy.
Right, but I feel like people fucking misconstrue that as just like, I saw you looking at his butt and I'm really like, are you going to leave me for his butt? Like, I don't know. I feel like...
Yeah, that's almost just being like possessive.
Fuck that.
No, possessive's okay. I feel like when it's a committed relationship, like, you should be able to be possessive in that way because you both should be able to trust each other, and the way that you get to trust is fucking communication. And like, I feel like I
don't know how I feel about devil's advocate. Don't throw orange tea caps at me. I'm gonna be the fucking.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Family Jules 7X. As you can imagine by this point in the BoyFlop, things got out of hand, and unfortunately, we had to cut this BoyFlop short. The good news is, next week you get to hear the exciting conclusion, the part 2 of this BoyFlop episode. Next week on BoyFlop episode 8, Jon and I finish this conversation talking about dealing with breakups, and of course, arguing over who's right, even though we're arguing the same damn thing. And then I got more stories for you. So see you guys next week. BoyFlop sucks.